So as everybody knows, these VV comics are not exact replicas of the originals. So what exactly are we buying then? Hi everybody, welcome back. So today I want to have a discussion about the VV comics. Obviously I purchased a lot of them. I really enjoy them. They're fun to have. And a couple weeks ago, they had the granddaddy of them all drop, which was Amazing Fantasy 15, which I think a lot of people are excited to have. And it's very difficult to get in the real world, very expensive and relatively rare now. So the big question is, what are we buying? So the short answer is, of course, we don't know. But let's have a discussion about it. If you have any opinions, definitely leave them below or DM me on Twitter. I think this is something that we should discuss further and try to understand, and really it's going to evolve over time. Let's do some kind of reasoning here. I thought maybe I would try to go through the bullet points of what it isn't, and then we can discuss what we think it is, and then maybe come to some conclusions. So let's do it. Okay, so what are these not? Okay, clearly these VV comics are not the original. Like, for example, I have some of the originals behind me. They're not a reprint. I have reprints. I have facsimiles. I know what they look like. I can hold them in my hand and look at them. And a lot of the VV comics don't have the ads or other things like some of the facsimiles do. So there's definitely some variance in there. So after some further digging, if you look at them, they appear to be what we see in Marvel Unlimited. Marvel Unlimited is a subscription service that Marvel has. You pay, I think, $15 a month, and then you can read literally all their comics. I suggest it to everybody, especially if you want to catch up on reading or go back and read a lot of stuff. It's a great resource. I read them on my iPad, but you can also read them on your phone. I would suggest looking into that one. But it seems like these digital copies that we are seeing in VV, they have the asset in Marvel Unlimited, and then they're giving them the VV, and then they're selling them. So I think they are copies of what we are getting in Marvel Unlimited. Okay, so they're not the physicals, they're not reprints, and they're not exact copies. So I'll give a couple examples here. So Fantastic Four #1, let's look at the covers here. You can see that the original and the VV one are clearly different. And I can give you other examples too, like the Marvel Now .1. It doesn't have a little logo in the bottom like it does on the physical. There's small variances, but as we know as collectors, those matter because that gives us a sense like, oh, this is not what I thought. And really, I think it's expectation. I think my expectation was that they were exact copies and we were buying a digital representation of an exact copy of that, and they're clearly not. Now, there's been other instances, for example, when they've made mistakes where there was one time when they shipped it, it was actually the wrong comic, and then they were able to trade it out. And I think there was another instance where there was a page or something like that that was incorrect, and they were able to trade that out. So when we're buying this token, they can clearly trade out what we have later on. So that's a little disturbing, or is it? Once again, what are we buying? We don't know. We're trying to work our way through it. I'm trying to work my way through it. Okay. So they're not exact. So let's kind of figure out a little bit about what they are. Okay. So what they are is they're licensed by Marvel. We know that. We saw Vivi in the Marvel booth. We've heard Vivi repeatedly say that Marvel creates these and we obviously distribute them through our store. So it's not like someone else is making these. So that's a good sign. So they're clearly a representation of the originals, and they're very close, and you can see that. And obviously it has the whole stories, all the original panels, etc. So it's not like they've really distorted it. But then when you look at some of the other covers, they're different. So obviously the Secret Rare cover is always different and generally taken from a panel inside of the comic. So once you buy them, we know that they're scarce. So unlike if it was just a JPEG that you could, copy a million times and give to your buddies, it's not that. The blockchain technology supports that. And we know and can see the amount minted because we can see that on the blockchain. We can't currently right now, but actually they're going to release the metadata hopefully yet this year. So that will show us the number minted, who owns it, where it's been transacted. So that retains the credibility of what this particular asset is. And what else can we do with it? So we're licensed to take pictures in AR with it at will. And we are, when they add it to the vaults, we'll be able to put our comics in the vaults. I think originally they said maybe only the covers, but eventually I'm assuming that we'll be able to open them up. And if you wanted to display page 5, you could display page 5 in your vault. And that would extend then also into the VV-verse or whatever other verses that they have in Web3, which we know lots of companies are interested in right now. So that's what I kind of feel like is at a base level, the bullet points of what this thing is. So let's talk about it more from a conceptual level. I think that what we have purchased is a license. As we said, they can change it out. They can do other things. So let's just use Amazing Fantasy 15. We have purchased one of the 10,000 licenses that they have offered, and that allows us to do things with that license. Now, does it allow us to reprint it? No. Does it allow us to make movies with Spider-Man now? No. It is a specific license that we have purchased, and what it allows us to do is freely use it at will in AR and in public, take pictures with our friends and ourselves. It allows us to do so with not only the cover, but any single page. And it allows us the license to display in Web3, which is highly significant as we recognize the world is moving to that. There'll be all kinds of different places, whether it be your office or other places that you're going to visit and be in Web3, and you will be able to display that AF-15 at will if you bought one of these licenses, if you bought one of these NFTs. So I see it as a key to that. Now, let's go to the flip side. Let's say a person who doesn't own that. So they would not be able to do that. So in other words, let's say a person is super, loves Spider-Man, huge fan. They're not going to be able to display AF-15 on their, in their Web3 office or whatever it is. As we know right now with all kinds of technology in, like, say, Web 2, if I use any type of copyrighted material like a song or something like that, even this video, it's going to get, flagged and probably taken down or demonetized in some way. And so that's what I think that we have purchased. We have purchased one of the 10,000 licenses that have been issued by Marvel that allows us to use this asset in the new world, which would be Web 3. Now, I currently have, real AF-15 back here. And in buying that, there's, I think like 2,300 blue labels or something like that. It allows me to display it and have that. And that's a piece of history. I literally look at that as an art piece, an historical document in a lot of ways that I have purchased, obviously, as a fan. And it has value because of the brand and the recognition and the fandom around who Spider-Man is. I think this does extend into Web3 because a lot of these characters and brands, Disney, dinosaurs, etc. So I think any of these NFT assets, it's very interesting because as we move into the Web3 world, we have purchased licenses, and there's a very small amount of them that will allow us to use these brands at will in this kind of new world. I don't think we know what that is. I don't think we know how it's going to play out, but it's certainly interesting. I'll be watching. If I have any more thoughts, I definitely will do another video. If you have any comments that you want to, definitely put it down below, and we should definitely start a discussion about it. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.